Hi, it's Elise here at Bowman Library with a whole new middle grade book spotlight. So our theme for this week, we are taking a look at books that feature unreliable narrators. Now, a narrator is the character, the person who is telling, sharing, explaining the story. And a lot of times with a narrator, it's first person. You get their point of view, their perspective. So with an unreliable narrator, as they are telling this story, you're seeing it through how they want you to see, know, understand this story. So that could mean you may not be getting the full story, or how they're explaining it isn't exactly the full truth, or maybe it is. And as you start reading, you are trying to figure out for yourself what is actually the truth, what is actually not. And we have 6 that we're going to take a look at today that feature these types of narrators and characters. So let's get started. Our first one this week is Blubber by Judy Blume. So Jill's in 5th grade and she's just looking forward to Halloween. You know, it's the beginning of October. She's just thinking about costumes and candy. And during these class presentations, there's this note that's left on her desk by a classmate. And in this note, it states that Blubber would be a good nickname for a classmate who is giving a presentation at the moment named Linda. Soon though, not paying attention to what's going on, the note disappears from Jill's desk and it goes into the hands of another classmate who then opens it and reads it and then decides to share it. And by the time Linda is done with this presentation, the note has made it halfway across the classroom. And then everyone starts to bully Linda. Jill doesn't know what to make of this. She doesn't know what to do. And, you know, she joins in because she doesn't want to be made fun of either. Everything changes though when Jill starts to be on the receiving end of the torment and no one knows how far things will really go. So told through Jill's point of view, you'll be along through this journey that is all too realistic. This happens every single day, and it may be something you have experienced or as well on either or both sides. This is Blubber. The Magic Thief. So Khan survives by being a pickpocketer on the streets of Twilight, but soon things change for him when he unknowingly picks the pocket of a powerful wizard and has his what's called a locus magicalis, which is the center of his power. The wizard's powers in this object. And when someone touches this that's not the wizard, they usually die. But for some reason that doesn't happen to Khan. Now, curious about why it doesn't happen, the wizard, whose name is Nevery, then takes Khan on as an assistant and then an apprentice and gives him a place to live. So, you know, Khan's like, this is actually working out pretty well for me. It's Nevery's job to figure out why there is magic diminishing and disappearing throughout the land, and he's going to need Khan's help to solve the mystery. But Khan's enemies are closing in on him as well, and he's going to need to make a decision. You know, each side wants something from him. What is it that he's going to decide to do in order to ensure his survival? And it may end up costing him a side in which he has to stand and fight. If you love fantasy with magic and mystery, this is the first in a series. This is a great fun read. This is The Magic Thief. Clementine. So Clementine may always seem to be getting in trouble at school, but that's just because she sees the world differently, and all of a sudden she gets these spectacular ideas that spring up inside her mind, and she just has to do them. She just has to enact them. She doesn't really think about the consequences or what could possibly come out of it that's good. She just wants to do it. It's only until Clementine has one of her craziest ideas yet that is so out of control that things change not only for her, but her best friend. You will see through Clementine's eyes for a week. You're going to spend a week in the life of Clementine and maybe understand how she sees the world a little bit better. But again, she sees things pretty different from what you or I might see. If you like your humor tied in with real world scenarios, this first in a series will have you laughing out loud at all the situations and troubles Clementine finds herself on a daily basis. And it might be things that maybe you do as well. And you'll just be trying to figure out what exactly is Clementine's deal here. This is Clementine. The Westing Game. This is one of my all-time favorites. Oh, so good. So, one of the best murder mysteries ever. Even as an adult, one of the best murder mysteries ever. One day, there's this random group of 16 people, and they receive a letter in the mail. And this letter says that they have been invited to play a game. And the winner of the game gets $200 million. All they have to do is show up to this meeting that's being held to explain what the deal is. So they all show up to this house one evening, and they find out that in order to win the money, they're going to have to play a game. They're going to be partnered up randomly with another one of the 16 people. They're going to be given a different set of clues from other people. So each group has a different set of clues, and they have to solve who murdered Sam Westing. And whoever is able to figure out that mystery, they're the partners that are going to get $200 million. Now, from there, what's crazy about this one is each group has its own section in which they get to narrate what's going on. So you figure out what every single group, what every single partnership is doing. And they all come up with their own crazy ideas and their different methods to solve the crime. And then there's backstabbing, and there's even bombings, and relationships are questioned, and things break up, and all in an effort to figure out who killed Sam Westing to get $200 million. So good. Love this one. You need to read it. This is The Westing Game. Liar and Spy. So George's life was great until everything turned upside down. His father lost his job, leading them to sell their house and have to move into an apartment building away from all of his, most of his friends. His mom, who is a nurse, has to work more hours to try to help make up the difference. And now his best friend at school is sitting at the pool table. Totally, not even just ignoring George, but standing by and watching these new friends bully him and not saying anything about it, just letting it happen. So one afternoon, he notices a sign in his new apartment building about a spy club. And it's there that he meets this other boy named Safer. Now, Safer is his age, he's homeschooled, and he thinks he's an amateur spy. Soon, George finds himself working with Safer on tracking another man who lives in their building, someone who they refer to as Mr. X. Safer thinks he's hiding a sinister secret. Now, as the investigation progresses, George starts to think that Safer's tactics are becoming more and more demanding and uncomfortable, and George is going to have to stand up for the first time really in his life to someone in order to protect himself. This realistic look at is one that you'll be trying to figure out what is going on. You'll be trying to solve the mystery or what's going on with this Mr. X, and you'll be figuring out secrets that are hidden while learning about yourself at the same time. This is Liar and Spy. And our last one for this week is Walk Two Moons. So Salamanca, otherwise known as Sal, is 13 years old when her mother leaves her and her father to go on a spiritual quest. She promises to return, but she doesn't. Sal's grandparents then decide they're going to travel from Ohio to Idaho, where Sal's mother went, to bring her back. So they're going to go to Idaho, go find Sal's mom, and they're going to bring her back together, and they decide to bring Sal along for the journey. During the 6-day car ride, she entertains her grandparents with a story. And the story is of her new friend Phoebe, whose mother has also gone missing. As they get closer to the destination, Sal starts to realize how similar her story is to Phoebe's, and then her grandparents start sharing more about Sal's mother. And then before she knows it, she knows more about her mother than she ever did before. And Sal starts to realize that she has a lot of emotions that she's going to have to deal with regarding her mom. If you like a good realistic story, I will tell you this one. This can get a little complicated and intricate at times, but it will also surprise you in the end. I highly recommend this one for you. This is Walk Two Moons. So these are just 6 of the books we have here at the library. They have unreliable narrators. They're all told through someone's point of view, first person point of view, but you don't know if they're telling the truth, what they're telling, if they're making all of this up. And you'll be along for the ride with them, sometimes as they're trying to just figure out themselves and their lives as well. So I encourage you to come on out, check out one of these 6, or we can help you find whatever perfect book you were looking for. I hope you tune back next week when we have a whole new middle grade book spotlight, and I hope you have a great week.